Loft 100 Studios, The Big Biz Show, and our affiliates and our hosts are not registered investment advisors or broker-dealers.
Our show hosts make no commitment that the purchase of securities of companies profiled or otherwise mentioned in our programming
are suitable or advisable for any person, or that an investment in such securities will be profitable in general.
Given the nature of the company's profile and the lack of an active trading market for the securities, investing is highly speculative and carries a certain high degree of risk.
We profile selected publicly traded and privately held companies on our program.
Most of these companies that we profile have provided compensation to Loft 100 Studios and its hosts for the profile coverage.
From time to time, we sell shares of the companies profiled in the open market that we receive as compensation for coverage of client companies.
But never sell stocks if we are speaking about interviewing or covering a public company who has paid compensation.
Specific questions on compensation can be obtained by contacting producer at sullyandgroup.com.
Listeners should verify all claims and do their own due diligence before investing in any securities mentioned on this program.
Investing in securities is speculative and carries a high degree of risk.
We encourage our investors to invest carefully and read the investor information available at the websites on the
Securities and Exchange Commission at sec.gov and or the Financial Industry Regulatory Authority, FINRA, at www.finra.org.
I like it.
Hey, is that a rescue plane?
Welcome to the Big Biz Show. You want fast-talking, hard-hitting discussions on business and finance? Maybe with a barroom slant and some really salty peanuts? We're not counting calories. We're counting cash. Before we get to the man with the financial plan, meet the money team. Costa, Mary, now Captain Finance himself, Sully.
Wherever you're watching, wherever you are listening, we welcome you to another episode of The Big Biz Show. We're live inside the Loft 100 Studios here in sunny Southern California, as you like to say around these here parts. Yeah, we're up in your business.
Oh my!
I'm Costa. That's Mary Godwin.
I like it.
And Sully.
I think you should change one every week.
Okay.
Every week, just have a new one.
I can do it. I can do it. I like it.
Did you get smacked in the head here or something?
I had a Mohs procedure.
Oh, what's that mean?
It's where they dig cancer out of your.
Are you okay?
Yeah, everything's
doesn't look
good.
Bad. Looks like you got a little tussle.
Yeah, I tell Erwin I mouthed off to the boss.
A little Cinderella
Thank
man.
you.
There you go.
Said,
big hello to the day chair trio today.
Hello.
Little something. 1, 2, 3. Hardest working band in television. They were just in
I heard
Jacksonville and Tampa this weekend.
How's the weather?
Gorgeous. It was. I mean, wasn't that? What it really was remarkable in Tampa. I mean,
it was great.
It was.
Beautiful.
It was like.
How were the crowds?
Crowds were crazy. Yeah, it's a different crowd for us. But,
a little bit.
But when you see people circle pitting to Oh California with, crusty.
Oh, I love it.
That's when you know it's working.
Yeah, I think so too. Howie Font from New York City knows all about that. Howard, in a balmy 44 degrees. It's almost like summer there now, isn't it, Howie, compared to what it was just a few months ago?
The relief I'm feeling from a balmy, like you said, 33. Amazing.
Hey, I keep on hearing, and I heard this. There's a great podcast about. It's a history podcast. I can't remember the name of it, but it's these two guys, these two British guys. They're sponsored by Claude, and Claude AI. They had no idea what it was. So at first when you go into AI, you type in how do I work ChatGPT and AI, and then you find out there's a thing called Perplexity. And there's Claude.
I just switched to Claude last week.
So Claude is the only current AI system operating on U.S. military classified networks, yet they let us have access to it. I think this is. I'm just wondering
what could go wrong.
I'm wondering the logic here. How we talk about Claude a little bit.
Yeah, I mean, this is important. I wanted to talk to it in the context of the software boom, and so much of the economy right now is the build out of infrastructure for AI. So when we see something like, the Pentagon spends $1 trillion a year, that's real capital expenditure for the AI industry. And so when we see Anthropic with their Claude models, that I also switched this week too, Mary, they're really good, but the CEO said, we don't want to be a part of weapons, and we don't want to be a part of the surveillance state. And the DoD said, no mas. Meanwhile, you have companies like XAI with Elon Musk saying, we'll partner with you on a lot of things. They already do the Starlink, the Starshield internet system. So you're going to see a defense implication in the economy as you kind of balance out the political forces right now.
Are we concerned about? I mean, everybody's concerned prior to us typing in our full social security number into CompuServe in America Online, where we the first day you were online and you were a little tiny kid, but I remember the first time we logged on to online service. Oh, sure, here's my social, here's my driver's license, and then it was there in the ether forever. Are we as concerned about privacy with AI as we used to be, or is this the whole idea is that maybe we shouldn't be as concerned?
It's really interesting when you think about what's happening with enterprise solutions in that regard, because there are tools. You trust Google, you trust your Gmail as a person with credit card information. It's a password manager. It by definition has access to everything. But if you're talking about a company, are you really going to let all of your data just hang out in the servers of OpenAI or Anthropic or Elon's Colossus data center? And no. So actually, one of the things that is reversing from kind of the big cloud revolution of 15 years ago is more companies want to build out on premises. They want their servers holding their data on premises, and the model companies, the AI companies, can come bring their models to your place of business, but you're not going on the cloud anymore.
Anybody concerned about privacy as much as they were before, or we just acquiesced into the fact that
I'm concerned about it every time I use ChatGPT or Claude or anything. I get freaked out by the surveillance aspect of where things are going.
Here's what I want to try to understand here, Howie, is what is the difference between a Perplexity and a plain ChatGPT and a Claude chat, and I don't know how many other ones I have on my.
They're popping up. I mean, everywhere.
I mean, literally, I've got Chatbox AI, I've got Claude, I've got Sora, I've got Perplexity, and then I've got ChatGPT. What are they different features, or what? I think I just downloaded them because I see a sponsor, and I'll try this and see if it's different. I can't really tell the difference.
Perplexity is the only one that's a little bit different from the core models. So Google has Gemini, and then they have a image generator like Nano Banana. They have others, but that's the big one. OpenAI has ChatGPT. Sora is one of their video image generators. Then you have Claude or Anthropic with their Claude models. That's the chatbot, and then they have image generators as well. And they have different specs. One is better for this kind of skill. One is better for writing, coding, etc. And then you have Perplexity that's saying, no, we're just going to be a layer on top of all that. Choose OpenAI, choose Gemini, choose Grok from XAI, but use whatever you want, but we'll be the one-stop shop. We want to make a Chrome equivalent, an internet browser. Theirs is called Comet, and you choose whatever brain you want it to have with the model, but Perplexity is just kind of like the UI.
Well, so glad that the Pentagon is in open talks with the app that I have on my cell phone. Makes me feel real good. Thank you, Howard.
Howie Font, big Biz Show market analyst. Always smarter after we talk to him. All right, speaking of smarter, a lot more smarter coming your way on the show. Don't go anywhere. In over 175 countries and all the ships at sea, you can hear us on the American Forces Radio Network. And as always, special shout out to the brave men and women of our United States Armed Forces for what they do, what they've done for us. Always a shout out for the Day Trader Trio right there on stage. No lessons, self-taught. Back here at the bar, it is Costa, it is Mary Bert Godwin, and it is Sully.
Wow, very good. That was very. You guys know what you're doing.
On point.
85 million TV homes strong here. Thanks for joining us once again on the Big Biz Show. Bob Daigle is the president, chairman, and CEO of a company called Amtech Systems. Michael, tell us all about them, buddy.
ASYS. They are in the semiconductor business.
Did one of our viewers contact us about them, or one of the shareholders, or how?
Somebody, and I reached out, and they said, we'll get Mr. Daigle on the show. So we welcome him to the Big Biz Show for the first time ever. Bob, how are you?
Doing great. How about you guys?
Good. Hey, can you talk to, this is so interesting because you talk about semiconductor business, and of course, we're not just a show about small caps here. We talk about everything from, music to politics to AI and semiconductors. But, semiconductor, speak sort of has been something that we've all taken for granted until the word AI comes up. And then suddenly you guys show up with an AI semiconductor. Talk about that. Give us an overview of that.
So we're actually in the equipment business primarily for AI. So pretty much every one of these GPUs, TPUs that are made have to get packaged and assembled into electronic assemblies for these data centers. And our equipment's used for the vast majority of all this infrastructure that's being rolled out, throughout the U.S. and the rest of the world.
And talk about the AI component, because obviously that's a buzzword, and obviously we want to understand, because it certainly seems like Google is going the way of the dodo in terms of thinking for itself when we think of consumers using AI, but when companies are using AI to in your case, in manufacturing and supply chain and everything else, it's a whole different ballgame. Talk about that.
Yeah, no, it is. It is. I mean, AI is gonna transform how we do business globally, and and for us, I mean, the important thing for us, we're participating in the infrastructure build. We're a key part of building all of these systems that are being deployed. So we've seen tremendous growth related to AI equipment. So if you look at our thermal process solutions business, which is about 70% of our business. The equipment for AI infrastructure grew at about 35% of our revenue last quarter. So we're just seeing tremendous growth quarter after quarter for this AI-related equipment. So we're really, we're really not one of the use cases. We're really the driving bricks and mortar, and so whenever you hear about, there's concern about how much AI investments are being made, and people who are hoping to make money from AI 3 to 5 years down the road. We're one of the fortunate companies that is profiting from AI today.
Bob Daigle is the president, chairman, and CEO of Amtech Systems Incorporated, ticker symbol ASYS. Bob, how tough is this game that you're in, and as quickly as it evolves and changes, maybe sometimes daily, is it easy to stay abreast of it and keep up with it, or is it somewhat of a chore?
Yeah, we've been fortunate. We had established a great manufacturing model. We call it semi-fabless, where we do a lot of production. We assemble and test the equipment ourselves, and with the rapid ramp in demand, we're fortunate that between ourselves and our supply chain partners, we've got equipment. And by the way, when I say people can go on our website and see pictures of this, these systems, but they're half the length of a tractor trailer, and basically we're assembling, testing one of these systems in about 4 weeks. Lead time 6 to 8 weeks, even though the amount of equipment we're producing today is about more than 2x what it was probably a year ago, these applications. So, we've been able to scale very rapidly. And then, as you might imagine, everybody in the supply chain right now is scrambling to build as much of the enterprise systems as they can. So good news is we do channel checks, and our bookings were real strong the past quarter. We see no reason from what we're hearing to believe that it won't continue to be very strong through the end of 26.
Bob, talk about this. Talk about the sales model with respect to. I know that you're talking about efficiencies and savings and so on and so forth, and obviously addressing a market and that is scrambling, as you said. What it looks in terms of looking at your financial everything. I mean, you guys are. Your balance sheet is clean as a whistle. You guys are debt free. You got money in the bank. What is the adaptability rate in terms of customers and stuff? How tough is it to get out there and sell, and what's the sales cycle looking like for you guys?
I guess I'll credit to being right place, right time, and that our equipment has been used by the major Taiwanese makers of the chip packages for probably a decade. So we were process of record before AI came to the scene. So we're benefiting from this rapid rise in demand, but we've been basically the equipment of choice, process of record for these advanced packages for probably a decade now. So we're benefiting from the growth now.
What are we looking most forward to for the rest of the year, pal? I mean, it's only February, but you guys, I look at your press release and look at you guys are planned out all the way through Q3 already. So
so we're basically take care of our customers. We're doing a great job in providing them the equipment when they need it. We're also working very closely with customers to make sure we have the right equipment for their next generation. It's probably a year or 2 years out before we'll see meaningful revenue, but we're investing in the R&D today to make sure that we can participate 2 years down the road. And frankly, focusing on how do we increase how much we're doing for our customers. Can we participate in more of the processing of these systems? So,
hey, Bob, on that subject, obviously because AI and the technology moves so quickly, is it tough to even look at sort of an acquisition model to try to pick up some of these, sort of value add companies that might be able to help the clients, but then again, you have technology that's behind the 8 ball that you may not be able to overlay?
Yeah, well, possibly, and it's always something we keep on our radar screen. Is there some capabilities, things we can bring in to expand more quickly? But within where we're participating today, we have that core technology, and I think we have great capabilities to expand what we're doing today. But again, adjacencies, other things that could fit the portfolio, provide more to customers. It's always something we pay attention to.
Bob Daigle, CEO, President, Chairman of Amtech Systems, Inc. Their website, amtechsystems.com. Their ticker symbol, ASYS. Bob, we need you back on the show. Tip of the iceberg type of stuff.
Sounds great.
Thanks for your day. Thanks for your time. Appreciate it. Bob Daigle, Amtech Systems Incorporated.
You see companies like that, and they're creating things that are being used by some of the biggest companies in the world.
I know.
And these guys, have a meager market cap. I mean, it just sort of tells you that you got to keep an eye on all the verticals on all these, because I'll tell you what, it's not just the AI, but if he's starting to talk about packaging of thermal semiconductors, you're talking about everything from NASA all the way down to your cell phone. I mean, literally every single industry.
All right, keep it here. Much more to come at the Big Biz Show. Don't go anywhere. It is the Big Biz Show. Appreciate you tuning in and watching on another glorious day here in Southern California. We're inside the Loft 100 studios. And as always, we are treated to the musical stylings of the Day Trader Trio. Started out on the Lawrence Welk Show, and look at them now. Back here at the bar, it's Costa, it's Reverend Godwin, and it is Sully.
And one of our favorite guests is up on deck here.
Aaron Day, CEO of Amaze. Their ticker symbol is AMZE. And you talk about a rocket that has been lit and is just...
Yeah, I'll tell you.
Man, the sky is the limit, literally, with Amaze. Aaron Day back with us here on the Big Biz Show. Aaron, my friend, how are you?
Good, Mike. How are you? Good to see you, man.
You too.
Hey, Super Bowl was a big day in commerce, and I have to ask you right out of the gate, what's life been like for you guys post Super Bowl? Because what is the amount of creators you guys have right now creating content? Is it how many people?
We've just passed 14 million creators on the platform.
Oh my God.
14 million. Big news. And since the Super Bowl, our life has just blown up, because I'm not sure if you saw any of the overall social chatter, but so many fans were so upset with the Super Bowl merch this year.
Yep.
I mean, the Fanatics was just getting beat to hell. And, it's kind of what happens when the 4 major sports leagues all get together and, sort of allow a monopoly with one supplier, right?
Yep.
But the fans are really unhappy. And I guess one of the interviews I did with you guys a little while back, got enough circulation, and people put 2 and 2 together that, not only are we an exciting software company that does all this beautiful social commerce work, but we also are a massive supply chain. And since the day after the Super Bowl, we've been getting just blown up by all kinds of sports groups globally asking if we can step in and help them power the next generation of merch to their fans. And so it's been really exciting. One of the largest global companies in sports outside of the U.S. has already had 3 meetings with us talking about what we might be able to do. And what's really interesting is that while they love the supply chain, they also love what we're building from a tech perspective. So we've been very busy, guys. I mean, it's really, really exciting. So
with respect to what your concert, because if you look at all of the technologies, going from cast to exactly to the content creation, is there one that you concentrate on, or do you concentrate on all of them at the same time as you move forward?
Yeah, so the most exciting piece right now for us is everything that's being built around Moments AI. We told you guys a few months ago that we launched in October the Moments AI product, but it is scaled so rapidly internally, and we now have all of our managed creators on it, and it's really doing well. So we're really excited about it. Very, very happy to see like the progress and things like the conversion rate, right? I mean, we're seeing enormous increases in conversion rate with the clients that are using it. So that's what I'm thinking about the most right now, because it really does allow you to manage social media trends and respond to them very, very quickly. So that's what I'm most excited about, Sully, right now.
Does that work in concert with a content creator's message? I mean, are they using that as a tool, or are they using it as a portal? Talk to folks on exactly how it works.
Yeah, so basically, once you sign up with us and you create an e-commerce store and you integrate your e-commerce store with YouTube, Instagram, any of the, TikTok, any of the main social platforms, we start through our massive data engine and our integrations with these platforms. We start basically watching all the comments and all the feedback of all the fans and all the communities in the platform, right? And what we do basically is our AI engine says, let's build out a base signal. So what's the sort of a standard norm of how many people should be commenting on something on a daily basis? And when that signal goes above a certain threshold, all of a sudden it sends communication back to us saying, hey, something's trending. So there may be it may be, let's say Jelly Roll has a trend happening with something he's released after the Grammys. All of a sudden we start seeing something trend there. And our AI engine takes and incorporates that trending data, those comments, and it suggests like 3 or 4 major topics. So let's, what might be trending in those comments. And we sort of synthesize it down to 3 or 4 comments. And then we use our generative AI engine to create new content from those comments. So within a matter of minutes, that creator can actually go back into social media and suggest some new products. And those products are matching to the trending comments that are happening on their social media. And the fans are just blown away. Like how the hell did they get back new product designs so quickly that map to the actual topics that we're talking about in the comments, right? And that's what's happening. And what used to take days and weeks to get something back is now happening in minutes. And it's across all the social platforms. So it's really, really exciting for us to watch what's happening. And we're really, right now, we think where we are is we've got it working with all of our managed creators, and we think that full-scale rollout will happen in the first 2 weeks of June, right? So we're trending, where we feel comfortable enough understanding all the dynamics of it, the costs associated with it, that we can roll it out full scale to all of our creators in the June timeframe.
Aaron, this is incredible. I used to work in an agency in social media, and we had community management teams that were like people that would scroll through Twitter to see what was trending, or if somebody mentioned something that was related to our industry, we would chime in, and it would take, like you were saying, days, hours, and a lot of labor. So what you're talking about is just minutes, and it's making me think of like when Life of a Showgirl came out or something, Taylor's album, gonna bring up Taylor Swift. But within moments, big brands or content creators have whatever is in their niche. They have a cupcakes that are the same color, or they have a song that sounds like it, or whatever it is. It sounds like that's kind of what you're talking about, right? It's like the turnover on a trending topic. They can come out with a t-shirt or a cupcake or whatever that is in line with this trending topic. Is that right?
Yeah. So spot on, Mary. And I actually showed it to one of the largest talent agencies last week. They have over 8,000, talent that they represent. And I showed it how fast, and they just picked one handle from one of the talent. And I said, watch what happens. And what they were like, look, within a matter of minutes, we just basically profiled the entire trend of that creator over the last 3 or 4 days. And we were able to create products for them in minutes. Now, not only creators, but the agencies that manage them and the service providers that take care of them see what we can do. It's going to change how these creators communicate with their communities.
Wow.
Aaron Day is the CEO of Amaze, AMAZE, ticker symbol AMZE.
Hey, Aaron, literally 45 seconds left. Can't wait to get you back in studio. And of course, there's a new bizumentary coming out about you guys and content creation. Anything changed in content creation for you in the last 6 months that you didn't expect? Because obviously this is a moving target.
Yeah, so I think what's changing the most right now is TikTok, guys. There was 2 years of chaos with TikTok. About whether it would be a social media app or wouldn't be a social media app. It finally was sold to a majority European, American, European, Middle Eastern. The people who own it now are very interesting, right? But it is now sort of in a place where it can grow and be what it needs to be in the U.S., right? And what's interesting is to watch what they're doing and how they are signaling that they are going to become a competitor to Amazon, right? They just announced last week that you have to use their shipping to fulfill orders.
Well, that
right?
tees it up perfectly for you guys and TikTok content creators, right?
Yeah.
Aaron Day, CEO, Amaze, ticker symbol AMZE. We started talking with him last year. He had jet black hair and bangs, and now look at him. Hair's gone, and it's white. That's how busy the guy is. Love him. Love his company. All right, love this show as well. We return right after this. Big Biz Show continues live from the Loft 100 studios. Thank you for tuning in, coming along for the ride. That is the Day Trader Trio right there on stage, live and in person. Live and in person back here at the bar. It is Costa, Mary Britt Godwin, and it is Sully.
We are brought to you by Prudential. Let Prudential be your rock for retirement. Also brought to you by Bayer Advanced. Better science, better results. Starbucks Coffee is a sponsor, as well as Lumen Brands and their fine family of restaurants. Let's not forget Taylor Guitars.
Oh.
Along with Fender guitars and Gibson guitars and F-Note drums up there. Good to have you on today.
All the guitars.
Who's the next guest?
Joining us for the very first time is Mr. Bill Wentworth. He is the president and CEO of Data IO Corporation. Their ticker symbol is DAIO, and we welcome him to the Big Biz, first time ever. Mr. Wentworth, how are you, sir?
I'm doing great. How are you?
Appreciate the time today. Thank you.
Bill, talk about...
thank you for the time.
Talk about data programming, because you don't hear the words data programming as often as we did, perhaps 20 years ago, 30 years ago, but yet it's still a hallmark and it's still a bedrock for many businesses. Talk about that.
Yeah, it is. My industry experience actually started when I was a young kid. My dad was an entrepreneur in the technology industry, started one of the early distributors of semiconductors. So my introduction to programming semiconductors actually dates back to the 70s. And so it's been around since, for 50 years plus. And, the nature of programmable technology is to give engineers the ability to design products with their own unique attributes by using, basically, think of a programmable device, whether it's flash memory or an FPGA as a blank piece of paper, and giving the engineer the ability to design any time of function or special types of technology that they want to merge together or integrate, allows them that creativity to do that. And so our equipment basically takes those data files and puts them into the semiconductors through our technology, through our software and hardware, embedded hardware, and then allows that, and with our systems and solutions, produce that in mass volumes for manufacturing for the electronics industry. So essentially, it's the intellectual property of companies, of OEMs, and most of the companies we deal with are Fortune 500, automotive, consumer, medical, pretty much all the typical technology verticals. And through that, those technologies then come to life. And then we have ways to secure that data inside the device as well.
Bill, with as quickly as data and the world in itself is evolving
technologically
in your line of business. What is that evolution process like for you as far as, keeping up with the Joneses, as they say?
Well, as you know, AI has made a big impact in our lives, and it's increasing almost on an hourly basis nowadays. We've deployed AI across our business in a lot of different ways, and I can get into that later. But, the semiconductor industry, historically, as you know, in Moore's Law, would change every 18 months. So the semiconductor industry itself has always been accustomed to rapid change. Now, what's happening with AI and how that's forcing that to even evolve faster is AI is certainly going to help chip development evolve faster and through certain technology breakthroughs. But where we're seeing the biggest push is product life cycles are increasing. That's the rate in which products come out and get deployed, and the rate of how many of those products. I was just at a large customer in China a few weeks ago, and their product life cycles are now, and this is the automotive industry, 6 months.
Wow. No kidding.
Yeah, think about that.
To Mike's point, though, because the technology is moving so quickly, now you have to add AI into it. Now you add customers, and not just your business, now the customer's business as well. Is this a constant R&D model at the same time? It's a sales model for you guys. You're juggling kittens there.
Yeah, not as much, because once our platform is manufactured and built, I actually just came out of an engineering meeting for our next generation platform that we're going to deliver by the end of this year, will last about 10 years to 15 years. Now, within that, we can do iterations within the platform itself and create more and more functionality, but the core platform should last a good 10 to 15 years. It's what we have to do around that to deal with the changes in technology and socketing technology, contact technology, solutions, automated, or whether we're building engineering systems that have more engineering capability, debugging, or if we're asking to have our engine put in at final tests, say in a board test. So those are the things that we'll have to adapt and deal with as data provisioning gets interjected at different parts of the manufacturing process. Today, the three key areas are either on our equipment in CapEx, so we sell that CapEx to an OEM, or we sell it to a service provider, and they provide services on behalf of OEMs, or it's done at test through a contract manufacturer through an OEM's manufacturing process. So we're in all three of those entry points, and some of the new things that we're doing as a business is Data IO has traditionally only been a CapEx-only business in that CapEx equipment side, which is the smallest part of the market, about 120 million in total. Where I'm taking the business this year and next and the years out is we'll be a service provider as well, but we'll also take our engine and be able to put it at test. So that takes a market that Data IO traditionally has served, which is the smallest part of the data provisioning market, call it 100 to 150 million, to probably well over $1 billion to 1.5 billion. So that gives us a lot of runway for growth.
Wow. Hey, Bill, this in conducting due diligence on you guys, obviously M&A strategy is something that if you can find companies that are debt free or almost debt free that can get to your bottom line, that fit in well. Is that part of the strategy still? And how difficult is that for you guys to identify those targets?
It's actually not that difficult, and I have about $85 million in active pipe right now. We're in the middle of 3 deals, actually conducting due diligence. So no, it's a very active pipeline. I could do these things organically. Services is where I came from. It's what I built my first business and sold to private equity, and then sold the second one to Avnet, who's one of the largest global distributor companies. So, we could grow the services organically. It would just take too long. It's a fairly fragmented industry, the services space, so there are plenty of acquisition opportunities there.
Bill Wentworth,
good deals as well.
Bill Wentworth is the president CEO of Data IO Corp. Their ticker symbol is DAIO. Website dataio.com.
Hey, what I have to ask, Bill, is that obviously. We started the interview saying data programming, so we haven't heard of it in a while. Yeah. But yes, it's always been there. Has AI added some spark to a few things that we may have forgotten about in terms of verticals for you guys?
And actually, up until about, let's say, 3 or 4 months ago, really not benefiting that much until we started using AI internally for software development, bug fixes. And actually, I use it all the time just to do research and do market reports and understand where we can take the business from a strategy standpoint and play those strategies off the agents. It's quite interesting in how intelligent these things are getting. I mean, it's scary in how much data they can get and how fast they get, and actually how accurate it's becoming. But as far as how AI will impact Data IO's business as a positive, is if you think about autonomous cars, robotics, all those things, there's a lot of technology in those products, but there's a lot of sensing data and things like that have to be processed in order for those to work at scale.
We got to have you back. We need you for an hour. I think our world's about to change. And I think you're
this is a very big deal because AI's been in the news and it's been generating companies that go through the stratosphere, about 7-8 companies. Well, what's going to happen now and starting this probably Q2, there are companies now starting to build out the edge of the network.
Yeah, Bill, this is how
it's going to take 2 or 3 years to happen in order for autonomous driving to be a reality.
This is how the Terminator movie started, an interview like this. And then the next thing I know, Skynet is active. Bill Wentworth, President and CEO, Data IO Corporation, ticker symbol is DAIO. All right, keep it here. We are coming back with a lot more as the Big Biz Show rolls on. Big Biz Show. Wherever you're watching, wherever you're listening, we always appreciate you being along for this crazy ride. We're inside the Loft 100 studios in Southern California. Inside the studio today with us, as they always are, the Day Trader Trio. Incredibly talented. And as I always say, self-taught, no lessons. Best in the business. Not so much here at the bar. It's Costa, it's Mary Godwin, and it is Sully.
Oh, I hate to do this to you all, but I'm going to ask Chris Castillo, who is our executive director back there in the control room, and then Miles East, who is our technical director, to bring up on the screen the gas price temperature map.
The map.
Or gasbuddy.com if you can, the big giant, because of course Patrick DeHaan, head of petroleum analysis for GasBuddy at gasbuddy.com, joins us here. Patrick, it's interesting because this is the only month out of the year that I sort of like to talk to you without feeling anxiety. I like to talk to you all the time. Let's clear that up. But this is the only month we don't have to talk about the dreaded summer blend. We can talk about a winter's coming to an end. Things are looking better. Yet I look at that gas price temperature map, and of course we see that the average price per gallon, I don't know where you're going to find this, anywhere in California, Oregon, or Washington, is about $4 a gallon. I can't remember the last time you paid $4 a gallon for gasoline. But this is one of those pivotal months, is it not? Where we're about to get the news on which refineries are going to close and be shut down for the summer, and then of course we got exactly 6 weeks before you're talking about the dreaded summer blend here in California. Welcome to the program, Patrick.
You always love me putting in these spots, right? When gas prices are going down, no, it's only when gas prices are going up, and of course it's very cyclical. To your point, smorgasbord of issues. From what you mentioned, refineries shutting down in California. That's boosting prices. We have the seasonal changes, just a lot of theatrics that go on this time of year. And it's not great news. California's already up about 35 cents a gallon in the last month. They're beet red as always, or in that map you just showed, yellow. And it's probably not going to get a whole lot better here over the next couple of months.
I'm looking at the cheapest gas in the country seems to be obviously parts of Texas, but Oklahoma seems to be doing pretty well. Is there a reason for the East to look a little more orange than usual? Because it seems to me it seems like gas prices. We were just in Florida. We saw decent gas prices, but it seems to me that they're getting hit also, and usually it's a lagging indicator for us. So talk about that.
Yeah, Florida is a bit of a different state. It engages what we call price cycling, where prices, I'm actually in Florida right now, prices going up to $3, then they get back into the 260s, then they go back up to $3. That happens every week or two. There are more and more states that engage in that, what would look like a very sharp upward, downward cycle in gas prices, Florida being one of those states. But out west, everyone's tied to California and its declining number of refineries. Interesting developments today that Utah is thinking about essentially penalizing refineries for allowing gasoline to get out of the state by potentially taxing refineries to send gasoline out of the state. It's those types of protectionist policies that really offer a chilling effect in the market. And that's part of California's refineries, is through policies like that sound good on paper. Hey, we'll keep gasoline in our state. that actually really backfire over a period of time. And that's exactly where California is at with the now coming shutdown of the Valero refinery in Benicia, California, just a couple of months away. You've probably seen some headlines. California importing record amounts of gasoline from, yes, as far away as the Bahamas. That's going to become a muscle that develops here in the next couple of months as these refineries shut down. California needs the gasoline, and it's going to be getting it from as far away as the Bahamas, Texas, and even Asia.
Patrick, with Valero shutting down the refinery, does that mean that Valero gas stations will go out of business, or will they still pump fuel?
Yeah, no, they're going to still pump fuel. In fact, that Valero refinery in Benicia has suggested that it's going to become a terminal. Each time you go by those refineries, there's a lot of above ground storage tanks. So they've talked about the access there. Ships will be able to bring gasoline in from as far away as Asia. They'll still use part of the refinery to store all of that gasoline.
Okay. What in your opinion is do we ever get back to because in the past we've seen gas prices go here in California, at least we saw them go to $5 and back down to $3.50. We saw them go to $4 and go back down. Are those days over? Because obviously, and look, if you compare what Canada pays, you compare what the UK pays, we're actually not getting our butts kicked as bad as the other countries are. But at the end of the day, has this changed enough cyclically in terms of pricing where we're probably not going to see those salad days of $3 a gallon again here in California?
Well, probably not anytime soon, but a lot of politicians have been paying acute attention to this and talking about the governor's race in California. There is a very distinct opinion that some of the politicians that are running want to bring those days back. And as I've mentioned, in the times past that you've had me on, is policy in California plays an oversized role on gas prices. So I would tend to say those days probably won't come back because California's been on this road so long. But there are some politicians that have some ideas that are running for governor. And let's be honest, California with its unique policies, with the Air Resource Board, a governor may have some power to bring back at least some form of lower prices. And so I wouldn't say no just yet, but watch the governor's race.
Oh, really? So can you hint to the fact that this is political, perhaps?
Well, in California, nowhere else in the country have we seen politicians really kind of go down this road. California's been rather infamous for kind of going down this very pro-environmental road. And I'm not taking a stance on that, but that does drive prices up when you have a lot of regulatory and policies that cause refinery access, in this case, to go away and disappear and to shut down. So
does E15 fix that at all, Patrick? Does E15?
It may shift the calculus. It puts a little bit more gasoline into the tank, but that ethanol is coming from out of the state of California as well. So it may improve things, but it does not fix things.
I think from where I'm sitting here, if you have, this California Assembly Bill, and I realize we're talking about California here, but look at the map here. The rest of you are lucky compared.
We're kind of different.
This California Assembly Bill 30 is supposed to help stabilize gas prices. At least that's how they're pitching it. But then again, you got to find out where the money goes, right? I think you have to follow the money on these things to find out if it's going to do anything. At the end of the day, it comes down to the fact that look, prices are going up, and gas prices are going up with them. And I hate to say this when I say $5 a gallon gasoline in California is a fair number, but it really is if you compare it to other countries, right, Patrick? I mean, you've said this, you've made this point a number of times.
Yeah, I mean, looking at it in the entirety of Europe and areas like Asia, Hong Kong, and it's $9 or $10 gasoline. And interestingly enough, I haven't publicized this, but if you also take the high prices in California and couple it against income, because California's median household income is among the nation's highest, if you make that comparison to what you're paying at the pump, it's actually, while it is above average, it's not that out of proportion, meaning that Californians are paying, yes, $4, $4.50 a gallon today. But if you compare that to the income, the median income, it's actually just above average, that ratio between what you're paying at the pump and what you're taking home in your paycheck.
Thank you, buddy. I appreciate it.
Thanks,
Patrick DeHaan, head of petroleum analysis, GasBuddy. GasBuddy.com is the website. Unfortunately, that does it for this edition of the Big Biz Show. As always, we appreciate you tuning in. We cannot wait to see you again on the next episode. We'll see you soon.